It's great to be here in Bucharest and to be at what is the most important digital meeting seminar within Romania. It's nice to be here with our partners, Google and Microsoft, Yahoo. We've got partnerships with these companies across the globe, and it's nice to be here with them as well. My name is Colin Kinsella. I'm the president of Digitas in North America. I've got about 25 years experience in the business in a wide range of areas. Started off in traditional advertising and worked in London for a period and came to Romania in 1997 during that period and got to know the advertising agencies a bit here and was incredibly impressed by the kind of entrepreneurial spirit, the creativity, as well as the problem-solving skills of the people of Bucharest and Romania. And I looked forward to coming back. I didn't think it would take me another 13 years, but it has. I also have a lot of experience in digital agencies, having run Razorfish on the West Coast for about 5 years in California. Was the global chief innovation officer for Razorfish, and then recently have come to Digitas. So I just wanted to give you a sense for at least who I am. And as I talk about what I think the future of advertising is, and by the future of advertising, I mean the future of digital advertising, because I think all advertising is going to be digital. Just wanted to give you a sense for kind of who I was. So why are we here today? Obviously, I think the key is to better understand and try to figure out how to harness the power of advertising and the power of digital advertising in today's landscape. And if I leave you with one thought, it is this, that we believe that brands are built by consumers. And fundamentally, because we believe that brands are built by consumers, everything that we do as an agency is in pursuit of connecting our brands to consumers with something of value. We talked a little bit about that in the earlier session. But really connecting with something of value that people are going to want to share. So as I get into that, I wanted to talk about, I think the topic of the day was the future of advertising. What does the future look like? And pretty clearly talking about the future is fool's gold. But what I can talk about is what we're doing today and where we see things moving within our environment. And there's three key areas that we're concentrating on. One is the rise of mobility. Two is the power of data. And quite clearly, understanding data is the difference between winning and losing in the advertising world within digital. And three is people as brand builders and really leveraging the power of social in driving your brands. So understanding these three pieces of data create what we at Digitas call active brands. And an active brand is a brand that inspires people to take action. And I'll talk a little bit about how we define an active brand and how we build active brands. But let's start with the rise of mobility. And mobility, I think for many people, you think, yes, I understand, I have a phone, everybody has a phone. We haven't really been able to figure out how to really market through the phone. But I think this has changed everything for people in North America, and I also think around the world. And I think the reason it's changed everything is mostly because it took the browser to the phone. So it took the power of the internet to the reach of the phone. And that had not been the case before. A lot of it before was SMS, but not a really rich experience. And there's a lot of statistics that I think are actually kind of interesting. So the iPad came out in April of this year, and in 90 days sold 3 million iPads. This is a device that has no killer app. Before every device that came out, it was always, what's the killer app for this device? Oh, it's an email. You can do your email on it. You can do your organizing on this one. You could do something on it that was very specific that made you say, I need to bring this device and hold on to this device and bring it within my world. And the iPad was the first one that was much more about just personal consumption of content. And it sold like crazy. And it really opened up, I think, everybody's eyes to what was going on within mobility. Eric Schmidt, the CEO of Google, gave a speech about 6 months ago in which he said that every application they now create at Google their first filter is mobile first. What does that application look like in a mobile device? How do you interact with that application in mobile? Once they get that right, it goes to the PC. This is an absolute game changer. In Romania, the mobile penetration is 110%. That means 1 out of 10 Romanians has 2 phones. Probably several of you here are that 1 in 10 that have 2 phones. But the key to this is that as you talked about internet penetration today, and I think Dragos was saying it was 53%, it's the phone. And wherever you have a smartphone, you now have internet penetration. It's less about the landlines and connected to PCs and much more about the power of the phone. Facebook just put a stat up, one of the ones that I was going to talk about as well. 40% of people who interact on Facebook interact via their mobile phone. People here are on their Facebook right now, texting their friend, updating their pages. It is an absolutely phenomenal movement that's happening. And whether you're in Romania or you're in the United States, we are all at the beginning of figuring out how to leverage mobile. We're thinking about leverage mobile. You saw Facebook Places, the location-based services that come with mobile, that a lot of people think about whether you use a Foursquare or when Facebook Places come, checking into places. The mobile phone is already connected to servers. So location-based services for your clients can be less about how do I get you to buy something when you walk by a store, but might be things like, oh, you're a credit card company, and I see that a transaction has just happened, but your mobile phone is nowhere near that transaction. Maybe your card's been stolen, and I should put a 20-minute delay on the processing of that card so I can call you. You could be entering an airport, and you're a premium flyer of some sort. And the people at the gate can see that you are in security and on your way to catch the flight, and they can hold the plane for a few minutes. There are a lot of different ways that we can start using location-based services beyond what we think is going to be the obvious, which is I'm walking outside of a store, I get a ping, and I walk in and get a 20% discount. I think those will happen as well, but there's a lot of other things that we can do to help our clients provide real value to their customers. And I think that's the key, as I talked about earlier. We think of advertising as being less about messaging and ads and more about what kind of service can I provide that connects me tighter to the brands that I like and that I will now start talking about. Mobile is obviously going to be at the forefront of commerce, so we've got to figure out how to connect commerce to the brands that we manage. And the other big thing for mobile for us is going to be search. So right now it's very much an app world. And everybody downloads apps, and I've got 50 or 60 apps on my iPhone, and then there's ways to organize those apps a bit better. But there's some interesting statistics. One is that only 20% of people who download an app, unless it's a game, ever go to the app again the second day. Like you download it once and you never go back. People use, I think it's 8 to 12 apps on a regular basis. But when you think about the news sites, so you're going to use those every day, or the social sites that you're going to use quite often, or say it's a banking site or a travel site, actual apps that have to do with brands are going to be very rare that you're interacting with them on a regular basis. And so you have to really force yourself to think about what kind of value can I provide this consumer if they're going to download this app so that they're going to want to go back to it more than once and actually have a relationship with the app and therefore the brand. So for us, the big key is if that's what's going to happen to apps, is that the search that's going to start happening on mobile phones is going to be critical. And how brands can access and manage those results is going to be the difference, I think, between success and failure. So another interesting statistic is that when searching for a consumer electronics good on a PC, 40% of the people buy the product in 1 month. The same percentage of people, when searching for that same consumer electronics on a phone, purchase it within 1 hour. So you get the sense that we have to be able to leverage search much more aggressively so that the result that we want is going to be in front of that client at the right time. So that gets me to the next topic, which is the power of data. So it's very important for us to really understand how to harness all the data that we have available to us so that when that person makes that search on their mobile phone, I know what to give them. A video probably isn't it. They want something hard and fast, easy to read. They're in the process of making a final decision. I need to do my research and understand what those criteria are behind that decision, and then I need to give them the data.